All right, so we're here for day 3 of The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. And if you tuned in yesterday, then you know that today our practice is called Magical Relationships. And here's the passage. Imagine if you were the only person on the earth. You would have no desire to do anything. What would be the point in creating a painting if no one could see it? What would be the point in composing music if no one could hear it? What would be the point in inventing anything if there was no one to use it? There would be no reason to move from one place to another because wherever you went, there would be the same as you were where you were. No one would be there. There would be no pleasure or joy in your life. It's your contact and experiences with other people that give your life joy, meaning, and purpose. Because of that, your relationships affect your life more than anything else. To receive the life of your dreams, it's vital that you understand how your relationships affect your life now, and how they are the most powerful channels for gratitude to start magically changing your life. Science is now confirming the wisdom of the great sages of the past, with research studies showing that people who practice gratitude have closer relationships, are more connected to family and friends, and have other people look upon them favorably. But probably the most astounding statistic that has come out of research studies is that for every one complaint about another person, whether in thought or word, there has to be 10 blessings for the relationship to flourish. Any less than 10 blessings for one complaint and the relationship will deteriorate. And if the relationship is a marriage, it will most likely end in divorce. Gratitude makes relationships flourish. As you increase your gratitude for any relationship, you will magically receive an abundance of happiness and good things in that relationship. And gratitude for your relationships doesn't change only your relationships, it also changes you. Because no matter what your temperament is now, gratitude will give you more patience, understanding, compassion, and kindness to the point where you won't even recognize yourself. The little irritations you once felt and the complaints you had in your relationships will disappear. Because when you're truthfully grateful for another person, there's nothing you want to change about that person. You won't criticize, complain about, or blame them because you're too busy being grateful for the good things about them. In fact, you won't even be able to see the things that you used to complain about. We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. Thornton Wilder. Words are very powerful, so when you complain about any person, you actually harm your life. It is your life that will suffer. By the law of attraction, whatever you think or say about another person, you bring to you. This is the very reason why the greatest minds and teachers of the world have told us to be grateful. They knew that for you to receive more in your life, for your life to magically increase, you have to be grateful for others just as they are. What if every person close to you said, "I love you," just the way you are? How would you feel? Today's magical practice is being grateful for people just as they are. Even if all of your relationships are currently good, they will increase with more magnificence through this practice. And with everything you find to be grateful for in each person, you will see gratitude perform its breathtaking magic. And your relationships will be stronger, more fulfilling, and more enriching than you ever thought they could be. Choose 3 of your closest relationships to be grateful for. You might choose your wife, your son, and your father, or your boyfriend, your business partner, or your sister. You might choose your best friend, or your grandmother, or your uncle. You can choose any 3 relationships that are important to you, as long as you can have a photograph of each of them. The photograph can be of just that person or of the both of you together. Once you have selected your 3 relationships and photographs, you are ready to set the magic into motion. Sit down and think about the things you are the most grateful for about each person. What are the things you love the most about this person? What are their best qualities? You could be grateful for their patience, ability to listen, talents, strength, good judgment, wisdom, laugh, sense of humor, eyes, smile, or kind heart. You could be grateful for the things you enjoy doing with the person, or you can recall a time when the person was there for you, cared for you, or supported you. After you've spent some time thinking about what you're grateful for about the person, put their photograph in front of you, and with a pen and notebook or on your computer, choose the 5 things you're most grateful for. Look at the photograph of the person as you make your list of the 5 things. Begin each sentence with the magic words, thank you. Address the person by their name and then write what you're grateful for. Thank you, blank, for blank. For example, thank you, John, for always making me laugh, or thank you, Mom, for supporting me through college. When you finished your list for all 3 people, continue with this magical practice by taking the photographs with you today and putting them in a place where you will see them often. Whenever you look at the photographs today, thank the person by saying the magic words thank you in the person's name. If you're moving around a lot, carry the photographs with you in your bag or pocket and make an effort to look at the photographs 3 times a day during the day, following the same procedure. You can also just use your phone. Now you know how to use gratitude's magical power to transform your relationships into magical relationships, although it is not part of the requirement of this book, but you may want to take this as an amazing practice and use it every day, if necessary, to make every relationship you have magnificent. You can use it on the same relationship as many times as you want. The more you can be grateful for the good things in your relationships, the faster every relationship in your life will miraculously change. So, just for the rundown, for those of you who may have missed all the other practices, I will reread all the practices. So, magic practice number 3, magical relationships. So, we're going to repeat steps 1 to 3 of the magic practice, which is number 1. Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you're grateful. Reread your list. And at the end of each blessing, say thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel as grateful for that blessing as you can. You do that first thing in the morning when you wake up. You're going to choose 3 of your closest relationships and collect a photograph of each person. With the photo in front of you, write 5 things you're most grateful for about each person in your journal or on your computer or your phone. Begin each sentence with the magic words thank you, include their name and what you're specifically grateful for. Carry the 3 photographs with you today or put them in a place where you will see them often. Look at the photographs on at least 3 occasions. Speak to the person's face in the photograph and thank them by saying the magic words thank you and their name. Before you go to sleep, take your magic rock in one hand and say the magic words thank you for the best thing that happened during that day. And tomorrow is magical health. And I'm just going to quick read the practice for that, just in case you need to know something for the next day. So tomorrow's magical practice is magical health. And so that means that we are going to repeat the steps 1 to 3 of the magic practice by counting our blessings and stating why we're grateful for them. Reread our list and say thank you, thank you, thank you, and feel gratitude for each one. And then on a piece of paper or a card, we're going to write the words, the gift of health is keeping me alive. Place the piece of paper with your written words where you know you will see it often today. On at least 4 occasions, read the words very slowly and feel as grateful as you can for the precious gift of health. Just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in your hand and say the magic words, thank you, thank you, thank you, for the best thing that happened to you during the day. So that gives you a little insight on tomorrow's practice as well. And we're going to just keep building. 28 days, guys. And so each day there's a different practice, but there's 2 foundational practices of every day. And that is starting your day off with listing and counting your blessings. So as soon as you get up in the morning, you're counting 10 things that you're grateful for and why. And we are aiming to add to the list every day. So for the 28 days, every day, we're adding to that list. So we're not listing again the same 10 things. We have to list 10 different things that we're grateful for. But this becomes really easy. So instead of saying like I'm grateful for my body, you can say I'm grateful for my eyes, I'm grateful for my eyelashes, I'm grateful for my hair, I'm grateful for my nose, I'm grateful for my lips. You know what I mean? You can get really specific, and so it's really easy to rack up just 10 things. especially if you get super specific. You could be grateful for a person, right? And then write down 10 things for just that person that you're grateful for. But that kind of taps into the magical relationship exercise. But anyways, this book right here, when I did it the first time, magic started popping off in my life. Depression started to fade, anxiety started to wane, and I really started to tap into feeling gratitude for everything in my existence. And it's a practice, guys. Like, this is a practice. It's not something that, like, for instance, it's so easy to forget the magic and to fall off and to get caught back up in I call it the rat race. You know, we kind of, like, we forget our power, we forget our magic, we forget who we are, and we get stuck in the loop of, like, why me, poor me, and victim mentality. And we forget that, like, we are co-creating our reality, and that we actually have the conscious choice of what we choose to have our day be like. We don't realize that we can tune ourselves in the morning so that we can literally tune our energy to wherever frequency we want. And if we start with gratitude, we're aligning ourselves with the original blueprint of reality, because according to the law of one and the law of love, everything is happening for you, not to you. So even the shitty things that happen, if we can find gratitude in that and stay aligned, that's where more magic happens. It's like, you know, you lose your job or you break your back or something happens, and instead of being like, woe is me, which I've done, believe me, I've been doing it, like, I keep catching myself in cycles of, like, I'm in pain, blah, 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 why bother even getting out of bed? And then, like, flipping the script to, well, I'm grateful for the fact that I'm still alive. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm still able to do things, and that, like, I don't have a compressed spinal cord. I am so grateful that I don't need surgery. I am grateful that I'm able to get up and show up and come online and share myself with you guys. I mean, if I can't work right now, I at least can share my energy through my Facebook and show up in other ways, you know? And so I've really been learning about different things and reading a lot of audiobooks and just finding different things to be grateful for besides, you know, just the whole woe is me thing, because it's so easy to get caught up in that, especially when you're living with chronic pain. So I've never actually finished the magic book, full disclosure, because something ended up happening, and I've always made an excuse and just I've fallen off the wagon. You miss one day doing the gratitude practice and it turns into 2 days and 3 days, and then before you know it, you're back in victimhood. So I'm really anchoring into creating this as, like, a daily practice, a non-negotiable. You know, I drink my Purium shake every morning, I drink my Kangen water every morning, and guess what else is happening every morning? I'm doing my gratitude practice. These have been foundational for creating a space where I'm able to flourish, to grow, and where my energy actually expands instead of contracts. Because when we are saying things or doing things that are not so loving to ourselves, it literally constricts our energy field. But when we do things that are loving and nurturing and caring for ourselves and other people, it expands. And when we expand, that's when we start to feel the love, the connectedness, the joy, because we're actually opening our hearts and connecting more to the field. And I can go on for days talking about this, and I don't even know if I make sense to half the people that listen, but I mean, I know the ones that get it, and are here listening and know, and they're going to start doing this practice with me. They might even buy the freaking book, because they know that there's true magic in gratitude. There's true magic in showing up for yourself in those aligned, loving ways every day. The discipline is where the magic is. You start to build interest on yourself, you know, and you start to show yourself, like, I can show up for myself. I can do the thing. Like, I can be disciplined, because so many of us just fall into the same old cycles of going out to eat and, you know, doom scrolling and, you know, the whole 9 yards, instead of, like, being like, okay, well, instead of like taking that time and mindlessly being on the internet, I could be reading a book. I could be investing in education in some way. I could be bettering myself. I could be doing something artistic. I could be coming online and connecting with people and telling them what I'm going through. Sorry, my hair's a mess. I haven't taken a shower yet. I'm just like, blah, I'm here, I'm alive. But yeah, so that's my message for the day. And keep your eyes peeled, because I am in the process of getting a water sovereignty reclamation class, masterclass, put into motion, and I will be hosting one soon, so keep your eyes peeled. I will be disclosing a date and time very soon. If you're listening and you want to jump on and be a part of that live, I would love, like, the more people live, the better, so that I can answer questions in real time and we can just, like, share space with each other and share the magic. And just to have the support, it would be lovely to have a masterclass that actually has, like, people that show up and give me support. So if you feel the interest in learning more about water, because believe it or not, what we've been told about water has been a big fat lie, and I am honored to be able to share this information with people and help people to reclaim their water sovereignty. And water sovereignty goes so far beyond just the water. It really does. It's about reclaiming ourselves and becoming sovereign beings ourselves by the food that we eat, the media that we consume, the music that we listen to, the people that we surround ourselves with, the things that we put into our bodies, the actions that we take, the words that we speak. It all comes together in becoming sovereign, loving, heart-centered beings. And really, all this life journey really is a divine dance, a remembrance of love, of oneness, of unity. We're just waking up to that. This human experience is kind of trippy like that. It makes you think that, like, we're separate beings having this human experience, but, like, we're actually so much more than that. And we're actually all connected. And we're starting to wake up to that fact. And it's starting to get really cool. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. And again, if you want to be a part of the Masterclass Live, please drop in the comments or direct message me, like, what time and days work best for you, so that I can try to finagle it. There will be a replay for the Masterclass regardless, but I just wanted to see, like, how many people can I get on and get involved. And it will be my first time hosting a masterclass, so it would be really cool to get the support, like I said. So yeah, I look forward to doing that. It's nerve-exciting, you know, it's nerve-exciting. I get to share with you guys all the things that I've been learning, and I'm really excited to do that. So let me know, DM me, drop the comment below, and make sure you're doing your magic practice, because this is how we're really going to make magic happen, guys. Before the water, before you change anything in your life, is if you change this right here, gratitude, and start seeing life in a different lens, you're going to see your life start to change in really magical ways. And sometimes I forget. I'll be the first one to admit it. This human experience is hard, you know? It's like every day we wake up and we have to remember who we are. And then we go to sleep, and then we have to wake up and remember who we are, and we have to realign ourselves to the truth of who we are, because it's so easy living in this world where everything seems separate, to just feel like everything is separate and that we are powerless beings. It's so easy to feel that way, especially when you're dealing with, like, things that are happening in your reality that you just, like, maybe aren't so favorable, you know? But just taking a deep breath when we're going through those experiences and remembering that everything is literally happening for a reason. And we might not understand it. We might think it's effed as all F. We might not understand it. Like, why did the universe take out my back? Well, I have many theories. But, like, why am I in pain? Why did this happen to me? And I know it's been to kind of like really get me to quiet myself, to center myself, to really slow down and to learn how to receive. And it's probably one of the biggest initiations I've ever been through in my entire life, because it's been a constant letting go and letting God, because I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the same job that I was doing. I don't know where my future is going. And every time I get told that I have another date to go, and then it's like each time I go to these appointments, I'm waiting for the next, it almost feels like I'm waiting for the ball to drop. Like, they're not going to pay me money, or they're going to say this, or they're going to say that, and or I'm not going to be able to work, or I'm going to be sent back to work. And there's been so many things going through my mind of like what could happen, and it's been like such an initiation to really become the observer and be like, no, we are not thinking worst case scenarios here. We're thinking best case scenarios here. If we're conscious creators of our reality, and I've really noticed that what I put my mind to, it fucking creates itself. And so for a while there, I was in my head, and I noticed my health just kept deteriorating more and more and more as I kept becoming more and more misaligned and not feeling the gratitude, not feeling the magic, not feeling appreciative for anything, really and truly. I was just like, I don't even want to get out of bed. I just want to sleep. And some days it's like that. I'm in pain. Nobody can tell me why I'm in pain. They act like I'm making it up, or like it's some like weird fallacy thing or something, or I don't know. But all I know is that nobody can tell me exactly why I'm in pain. And in the beginning, it was, you have this disc bulge and disc degeneration and several herniated discs. This is what's causing multiple radiculopathies in your body. And then they gave me the shot, the cortisone shot, and it was like, okay, it helped a little bit with the pain, but there's still pain. So like obviously like either I need another cortisone shot in my back somewhere, or like there's still pain. So they're like, well, we're going to send you to have an EMG. So they send me to have an EMG, and the EMG has shown nothing. According to the guy that did it yesterday, he said that I have mild to moderate carpal tunnel in both of my hands, which I already knew. But he said that as far as nerve compression, he couldn't find anything in my leg or in my arms. So why is my leg going numb, and why is my arms going numb with pain? Nobody knows. And it's so hard to stay in that state of like, everything's working out for me, everything's gonna be okay. And you know, because it's like, come Monday, what's he gonna say to me? Is he gonna say, well, we can't find anything wrong with you, you're going back to work? You know what I mean? Like, that could be a possibility. And at that moment, what am I going to do? Because honestly and truly, I don't feel like my body is in a place where I can work, unless it's like really light duty. Even doing the dishes, putting away my laundry, anything that has me lifting and doing repetitive arm movements, I feel pain up in here in my shoulders, into my neck, in my chest, and down into my arms, and my hands are going numb, and my arms are going numb. And the numbness got worse after the cortisone shot. So I've been navigating a lot of health issues and not knowing where or what the next move is going to bring, and just really letting go and letting God continuously over and over and over again, like over and over and over again, over and over and over again, catching myself in this state and spiraling into doomsday, you know. And it can be so hard to get out of it, but it can also be so easy to get out of it, because all it takes is a simple shift of mindset, remembering that if you tune yourself in the morning, even if you're in pain, your day's going to be better, and you're probably going to be in less pain because you're in a better state of mind. If you haven't noticed, something I've noticed, when I'm in like a bad state of mind, or aggravated or pissed off, I tend to get myself into more pain. Don't ask me why. For instance, well, maybe this is a good one. For instance, yesterday my daughter spilled Power Shake all over the bed, and I wasn't thinking. I was just thinking, God, got to get it cleaned up fast. So I started to like rip the sheets off the bed, and before I know it, I'm realizing that I'm bending over, like overextending myself, pulling on myself, and my arms are starting to go numb. I can feel the pressure in my butt and the numbness going down my leg and the pain in my hip, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I can't do this, I can't push myself. So that's when I started to yell for Josh. But it's like in those moments like of you don't even think, and I was just frustrated, like we can't have Power Shake everywhere and going all over the bed, and I wasn't even thinking straight, and then here I am putting myself into more pain. But if I was more present in the moment, you know, more conscious, maybe I wouldn't have done that. Maybe I would have. I don't know. But it's really hard to like stay in a state of gratitude when you are in pain. So it's really important to remember to tune yourself in the morning and to find gratitude in even the simplest, littlest things. If anyone is navigating anything like this in their life right now, all I can say to you is to find gratitude in the simplest, littlest things. And if you believe in a higher power, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in source, whatever it is that you believe in, really lean into that. You know, thy will versus my will, or my will versus thy will. You know, at the end of the day, we are being lived. We do have choices, but we're being lived. And that's pretty wild. We can push, we can shove, we can try to force creation into being whatever it's going to be, but until we radically accept and have gratitude for what we have right now, our world will remain dissatisfying. And that's the truth. 11:11. I love you guys. I'm going to bounce off now. I have a Christmas party to go get ready for, which will be interesting because I can't dance. So I'll be getting all pretty and going to a Christmas party, and we'll take pictures and I'll share. But make sure you're following along. I'll be back tomorrow for the next day of the magic. Love you.